Hello. I hope your Tuesday and your Monday went well. I don't know where days are passing me by or where this year is passing me by, but I know exactly how long this year has been. I want to talk about anger today. Honestly, actually, this is my third rerun of this video because in my first one, I'm just like crying and I'm not able to convey a message or what really I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna give it another shot. Anger and love are two sides of the same coin. I know that we live in a world where there's an acute lack of a deeper understanding of anger. If we look at what is happening in Gaza, if we look at what happened in your own life, in my own life, if we look at what has happened with the previous generations, if we look at the last 300, 400 years in this world, it's not been easy. And it has not been easy because there has been a lot of anger. And that anger has again and again and again, of course, for many different means and gains, the instrument and the narrative and the strategy around it has changed. We call it capitalistic today. It would have been masochistic in the past. It would have been racist in the past. It would have been something else. Those strategies change. But the anger has again and again manifested itself and tried to come out in so many different ways in so many different places in the world. But let's not actually, as you and I, as two people, as human beings, let's not go outside into the world and think about what's happening in the world. But let's think about it inside. What's happening inside you or inside me or inside people in this world, human beings, each one of us. I have met so many people in my life, and I don't know why, but I have met so many people in my life in their most vulnerable stages. From my father dying in my arms, to my partner's vulnerability, the partner with whom I'm separated now, to my best friends. It's like so many people in this world that I have met, and that's like an infinitesimally small fraction of the people in this world. It's nothing. It's 0.0000 God knows what. But as one human being, the capacity that I've had and the people that I've met and their vulnerabilities that I have seen and their anger that I have seen, whether it's towards me, whether it's projected towards me, whether it's against me, whether it's against somebody else. But there's just this massive energy of anger that is existing in this world. So I'm still in the process, and I have been in the process for many years of trying to understand this anger, because sometimes I feel I have taken too much anger inside me, but when it comes out, I'm not able to identify if it's an absorbed anger or if it's me as a person. So here's what I have done in the last few years is I just started to look back on myself, and I just started to think if something is wrong with me or if I need to change something, if I'm the problem, and that is real, like feeling that every day of your life. It is real that you feel that I'm the problem. Something's wrong with me. And it is the most detrimental self-talk, to tell yourself that something is wrong with you. Because when you say that something is wrong with you, you strip yourself off of the humanity that exists in you. Your right to just be human, to feel whatever emotion it is, which may also be anger. So, I, last year was my year of, I would say, the most zen that I would have been in my life so far. And that is not because everything was going perfect in my life, but I had achieved a certain sense of being able to deal with those situations where someone is triggering the anger in me, right? So when I say someone, it's like it could be anybody, but it's an outside agency that's triggering the anger in me. And I was able to be wise through it. I was able to contain it. I was able to be objective and mindful. And actually, in a very unique way, I experienced empathy for the people who were, or for the persons who were triggering that anger in me. Because I realized that what I see in them is in me, and what I see in me is in them. So I was able to avoid getting into arguments. I was able to avoid letting somebody drain the energy out of me, right? One person, two-person, whoever, friends, flatmates, whatever. But then something happened, because it was like, if I'm trying to be zen about it, and if I'm trying to evade the anger that someone is trying to, like, invoke in me, then in a certain way, it is wonderful that you have reached to that stage of growth. But in a certain way, you are suppressing something inside you. And that suppression is going to become your own anger. If as a child, when I was receiving that anger, if I knew how to defend myself, and if I knew how to stand up for myself, and if I had that capability and that energy in me and that power in me to give back that anger to whoever those people were who were giving me anger, in that stage when I was receiving it, when a child is receiving it, when these children who are dying, who are being orphaned in Gaza, who are being who are suffering in Gaza right now, if they could stand up right now against those militants and the combats and the IDF and all of those forces, then they would defend themselves. But sometimes most times actually, that child cannot defend itself. So the child becomes extremely damaged from inside. And when that child grows into an adult, it is a damaged inner child. It's a hurt, traumatized inner child that is trying to find its way into this world. So I started telling myself something is wrong with me. And I started going into therapy, and I started trying to find different ways of understanding what is wrong with me. I now look back in retrospect, and my very, very first initiation or motive to want to go into therapy, which was my own decision, was that I need to understand what is wrong with me. And I think that itself, now that I have taken therapy and now that I have understood after many years of introspection and retrospect, that there's nothing wrong with you. You're a work in progress, and you're healing from whatever you received as a child in the environment that you were in. And that is not to say that my parents were bad parents. That is not to say that anybody else who has received or has experienced anger or trauma has had bad parents, because there's no black and white. You can't quantify a parent as a good parent and a bad parent. It is hence now I have come to the understanding that as human beings, we have not healed. Our collective subconscious has not healed. I'm so glad that I'm not crying, because in the last 2 videos I was crying. Our collective subconscious is grieving is grieving very badly because it has not healed. And what would heal anger? What can heal anger? Even as I'm saying this, my whole nervous system, my body, I have goosebumps saying this because, like, I can feel it in my backbone right now. What will heal anger? Only love can heal anger. Only love can heal anger. Nothing else can. But we are also failing. We are, as a society, as a civilization, we are massively failing at understanding love. Because love is not what you are seeing on Instagram. It's not what you're seeing on reels. It's not what you're seeing in movies. It is also not what you're reading in books. It's not Mills and Boons. It never was Mills and Boons. And it never will be Mills and Boons. And it is also not what you see people projecting as happy couples, or what you see on these bite-sized information that we receive from the social media. It's also not a bargain. Love is not a bargain. You don't bargain anything in love. It is freedom. In the most purest sense, love is freedom. And anger exists where love is suffocated. Anger festers where love is suffocated. The suffocation of love, why we do it, why somebody does it, that's much deeper. That perhaps definitely will come up in my future videos. But love truly, deeply, and genuinely is freedom. You cannot say you love someone and then say they are fat. You cannot say you love someone and then say that they're an alcoholic. You cannot love someone and then say that they bring shame on you. You cannot. Love doesn't say these things. You cannot love someone and tell them that they need to seek permission from you for things. And I'm not giving these examples because this has happened to me or I have done this. It's more like, yes, things have happened in life, and things have happened in other people's lives who have come and shared the vulnerabilities of anger with me, and I've shared the vulnerabilities of anger with them. And I have learned and understood that any person who was feeling any kind of anger, whether it's my mother feeling anger towards me, I feeling anger towards my mother, my partner who I'm now separated with feeling anger towards me, I feeling anger towards him, my best friend feeling anger towards her mother-in-law, or my once upon a time used to be best friend feeling anger towards her mother-in-law, my another friend feeling anger towards her husband, or I don't know what. I'm just like running out of it. My mind is full with this database. And it really, as I'm saying these words, it's doing something to my nervous system, is that all of this anger is because we all feel suffocated. We are suffocating and dying a death slowly, sadly, deeply, and not coming together truly, genuinely, and open-heartedly, and accepting each other. If the Israelis would accept the Palestinians, and the Palestinians would accept the Israelis, and if the whole world was accepting of each other, and it is such poetic and romanticized version, I suppose, of my thought process. But because I know it is very hard, somehow we are so hardwired to our conditioning that we become the person we thought we will never become. We become exactly the replication and the torchbearers of those conditionings that we thought that we will never become, because those conditionings were impacting us as a child. Those conditionings were impacting our psyche when we were a child. And we don't even realize when we become that person. I think it's very important for us to learn to take a step back. When you have that voice of judgment, then just take a step back and tell yourself this is not coming from a space of love. I'm learning to do that. I am actually consciously and mindfully practicing it. I am exercising this. I'm exercising this mindfulness activity where I look back to those specific examples or specific situations, not examples, because those are real situations, specific situations where I was angry, where I was not giving love. And I'm learning that in every single one of those moments when I became angry was when I was lacking to accept the other person as they are. And that is because I lack to accept myself as I am. I severely lack to accept myself as I am. That is that I am anger and I am love. I am forgiveness and I am also cunning. I'm a little girl and I'm also a woman. I have my feminine, I have my masculine. I have been hurt and I have hurt. I feel happy some days and I feel sad. But anger and love will always go together. And the only way we can go deeper within is when we can truly accept love. And love is truly accepting people as they are. Maybe we cannot do that for the whole world. It is a lot to ask. We are not saints. But at least if we can do that in our homes, if we can accept each other in our homes, if we can accept our parents and our siblings and our partners and our best friends and our teachers, and we can just accept in our home, maybe one home at a time, we will make a better world, truly. And I really hope that I can continue on my exercise and truly bring this transformation in me, because love suits me, anger does not. Love grows, grows on me. It helps me grow. Anger does not. And maybe this is a helpful video, maybe this is not. I know it is too long, but I just could not stop because I'm getting tired of looking at all that anger that's coming out in the world, and it's coming out from me as well. So if you experience anger, I hope listening to this helps you. Thank you. Thanks for listening.